What you think makes people like you isn't what truly keeps their attention. Your smooth skin, nice features, and polished look are just decoration. They're the mask you wear so people will like and admire you. But under that mask is a side of you you've hidden for so long, you almost forgot it's there. It's not the polite you who makes small talk. It's not the you that wants approval. It's the you that lives in silence, in the back of your mind, wild and real. Jung called it the shadow. Most people fear it, but it's not your enemy. It holds the real power you haven't used yet. The reason some people step into a room and shift the air without a single word is because they have embraced it. They do not carry themselves for decoration, but as living proof of something unspoken. True magnetism does not announce itself. It creeps into the instincts of those nearby, like a quiet warning. It makes the skin tense before the mind even understands why. That energy comes from integrating what you've denied, the hunger, the rage, the desire you've been trained to bury. These are not flaws. They are power in its purest form. But you have been taught to tame yourself for comfort. You have exchanged impact for approval. And no one is drawn to what is entirely safe, predictable, or ordinary. That is why most pass unnoticed. They speak without piercing, smile without stirring, live without leaving a mark. The magnetic live differently. They sharpen their silence until it cuts. They contain their desire not to kill it, but to direct it with precision, letting it flash like lightning when the moment demands. They control time, not the clock on the wall, but the pulse in the room, breaking and holding it as they choose, so that others unconsciously adjust to their rhythm. Mystery is not an ornament, it is a weapon. When you reveal everything, you remove the chase, and pursuit dies. A glance that lingers just long enough, a presence that burns one moment and withdraws the next. This is the pattern that breeds obsession. Magnetism is not static, it shifts. At times you are ablaze, at others, the ember that waits in the dark. What matters is that those who encounter you cannot predict which one they will face. You must become unforgettable, not by filling minds with stories of yourself, but by creating experiences that alter those who meet you. A scent, a gaze, a moment of silence heavy enough to make someone feel exposed. These are the marks that linger when you are gone. But for this, you must step out from behind the skin and smile you've been hiding behind. You must be willing to release the part of you that will never again let you be just another face in the crowd. The mistake many make is thinking magnetism can be worn like an outfit. Learn a few lines, memorize a few gestures, and the world will bend. But true magnetism cannot be fabricated because it comes from coherence. When what you are inside and what you show outside align so completely that the difference disappears. This does not mean exposing everything. It means knowing exactly what to reveal and when, so that each choice feels deliberate, like a piece of a language only a few can read. The magnetic do not live reactively, changing their energy to suit the room. They make the room change for them. People unconsciously take on their breathing, their tempo, their emotional pace. This is not physical control, it is emotional gravity. To wield it, you must be anchored in yourself so deeply that outside noise cannot touch you. At that point, you no longer sell yourself. Your certainty becomes the hook, your stillness the pull. And stillness is not emptiness. It is the economy of energy, the refusal to waste movement or words. Each gesture carries weight. Each pause is alive with meaning. Your voice becomes a current, your silence a demand. This kind of power is not learned in crowds. It is born in solitude, in the uncomfortable work of facing your own reflection until you are no longer afraid of what you see. Most mistake noise for strength. They believe that to be noticed, they must dominate every inch of space, flood every silence, speak until they are heard. But real magnetism is not in constant presence. It is in the art of controlled absence. It is the tide that retreats just far enough to make its return impossible to ignore. You give, you take away, and you leave them wondering what they've missed. When you master this rhythm, you become more than a presence. You become an event. You interrupt the patterns others live in. They are used to the same conversations, the same reactions, the same faces. Then you arrive, and something shifts. Maybe it's a phrase that cracks their thinking. Maybe it's a look that makes them feel entirely seen. Maybe it's a pause that forces them to hear the sound of their own thoughts. In that disruption, you create a memory that cannot be erased. People rarely remember words. They remember the sensation you left them with. This is why the magnetic are not obsessed with telling their story. They are devoted to provoking something awake in others. They break through the numbness. They breathe life into the parts people have forgotten. To do that requires a kind of vulnerability, one that is chosen, not forced. You reveal what you choose to reveal, and you do it in a way that feels rare, deliberate, and undeniable. Then comes the contradiction. The most magnetic people embody opposites without falling apart. They are both warmth and danger, softness and steel. They can be near yet unreachable. The mind does not know where to place them, and that uncertainty is addictive. The unpredictable is remembered. The consistent is eventually ignored. You must learn to shift without losing your center, to be the same essence in different forms, like a predator adapting to the terrain. This unpredictability does not require the best looks, the most money, or the loudest voice. It requires the deepest awareness of yourself and the willingness to use it without apology. While others are competing on the surface, you operate in the invisible space, where every move has meaning and the rules belong to you. There is a level beyond this, one most never touch, the stillness that comes when you no longer need anything from anyone. It is not the coldness of apathy, but the calm of absolute self-reliance. It is the kind of presence that makes the world slow its step to match yours. You speak less, and yet people listen more. You move less, and yet the room orbits around you. Chaos adjusts to you, not the other way around. In this space, you do not chase. You do not fill silences. You let others feel the weight of them. They begin to wonder why you are unmoved, why you don't scramble like the rest. They begin to align to your pace without realizing it. This is not about attention. It is about dominance of rhythm. Whoever controls the rhythm controls the ending. But rhythm alone is not enough. You must leave behind not just feelings, but symbols. A word, a gesture, a single object tied to you in someone's mind. These become triggers. They keep you present in their thoughts, even when you are nowhere near. Symbols speak to the unconscious in ways conversation never can. When you plant one, you remain in the background of their mind indefinitely. The true masters of this art understand that to achieve it, they must become an experience rather than a person. Something that disrupts, awakens, elevates, and leaves the other more alive than before. That is when you are no longer just a memory. You are a reference point. And from that place, leaving is almost impossible. The kind of attraction that endures is never born from what fits neatly into the rules. It lives in the edge between desire and danger, in the tension of wanting something you cannot fully name. People are not magnetized by what is entirely safe. They are drawn to what awakens a hunger they cannot justify, a curiosity that feels like trespassing. The most potent presence is often shadowed, touched by the forbidden. It whispers of freedom from invisible chains, of living by laws that are not written in any book. When someone senses that you do not bow to the same codes others obey without question, something deep inside them stirs. They may not admit it, but their pulse shifts. That sensation is older than thought. It is the ancient signal that says, here is someone who belongs to themselves. And that is more intoxicating than beauty or charm, because beauty fades and charm can be faked, but self-possession radiates in ways no surface can imitate. To hold this power, You must embrace strategic unpredictability, not chaos, but the deliberate refusal to be entirely mapped. The human mind obsesses over what it cannot fully predict. If you break patterns just when they think they have learned you, you force them to pay attention again. You become a puzzle they cannot solve, a flame that moves differently than the wind expects. Yet understand this: the goal is not to be liked by everyone. True magnetism is not about pleasing, it is about provoking. Sometimes you will stir fascination, sometimes discomfort. Both work, because both keep you in their awareness. The most forgettable interactions are those that produce mild, easy feelings. Intensity marks the memory. If you can guide someone through a spectrum, from intrigue to challenge, from tension to relief, you have given them an experience they cannot detach from you. Charm can be erased, a mark cannot. To mark someone, you must be willing to show contrast, human and untouchable, open and unreachable, inviting and elusive. You must live as both story and myth. That interplay is what keeps them searching, even when they think they've already found you. And here is the truth most will avoid. Magnetism is not an accident. It is the result of quiet, relentless cultivation. Every choice, every silence, every movement is refined through a deeper understanding of yourself. Those who rely on chance or surface tricks fade quickly. You are not here to fade. You are here to be felt long after you have gone. But there is a cost. This path is not for those who want to be comfortable. It is not for those who cannot bear the weight of being remembered by those who may never speak your name. Sustaining this energy means living in a constant awareness of yourself and your effect on others. It means giving up the safety of blending in. You will be watched, judged, envied, desired, and misunderstood, and you must be strong enough to remain unmoved by all of it. Magnetism is a decision, not a trick. It is the decision to be seen fully without ever being entirely known. It is the choice to live in such a way that your presence rewrites the atmosphere of any space you enter. Most will not make this choice because it is easier to be ordinary. But if you have come this far, you already know that ordinary has no claim on you. So ask yourself, will you keep showing the world a polished mask while your truest self remains locked away? Or will you step into the current of your own shadow, shaping it into something that moves others without their consent? This is not about arrogance, it is about alignment. When who you are inside stands in unshakable harmony with what you project, the world adjusts to you.